The galaxy was vast, unfeeling, and ancient. Stars burned for eons, systems collided silently, and civilizations rose and fell like waves upon a cosmic shore. Among these countless races, humans were a minor curiosity, small, volatile, and unpredictable. Most species dismissed them. Their homeworld, Earth, was a pale blue dot orbiting an unremarkable sun. But humans had something the galaxy had yet to comprehend: stubbornness, adaptability, and a capacity for sheer audacity. In the Outer Rim, in a system humans had only recently charted, a massive fleet of alien warships loomed. They belonged to the Kalari Dominion, a militaristic species known for their precision, ruthless tactics, and advanced quantum weaponry. Their emissaries had sent a warning months earlier, but humans had ignored it, dismissed it as alien bluster. Now they were here. Admiral Elena Vargas stood on the bridge of USS Aegis, the flagship of Earth's fledgling interstellar fleet. The human force was tiny compared to the Kalari Armada, 20 warships against over 200. Sensors blared warnings, the bridge vibrating with the hum of energy weapons powering up across the void. "Admiral," said Lieutenant Cho, the communications officer, voice tight. "They're opening hails. Multiple frequencies, Kalari standard." Elena's eyes, sharp and calculating, scanned the incoming messages. The Kalari tone was formal but icy, dripping with superiority. "Humans of Earth, you trespass in territories far beyond your understanding. Leave this system or be annihilated. Compliance will be noted as prudence. Defiance will be your extinction." Elena leaned back, crossing her arms. "Prepare a response," she said, calm but firm. "And make it clear, we don't leave. Not today, not ever." The Kalari didn't wait. The first salvo hit human defensive positions like a storm of meteors. Explosions tore through space, and the Aegis shuddered violently. Warning lights flashed red. Yet, against all odds, the human fleet held formation. Their ships were slower, less armored, but humans fought differently. Captain Jiro Nakamura, commanding the USS Liberty, barked over comms. "Adaptive shields at 90%. Charge the railguns. Focus fire on their lead destroyers." Unlike the Kalari, humans didn't rely solely on superior technology. They adapted. They improvised. They learned the patterns of their enemies mid-battle and struck where the aliens thought them weakest. The first Kalari vessel exploded in a shower of green fire, a signal of humanity's defiance. In orbit above the volcanic world of Zithra, human forces evacuated civilian colonies while simultaneously using the planet's natural magnetic storms to disrupt Kalari targeting systems. It was a dangerous gamble, but it worked. Missiles misfired, and entire squadrons were forced to retreat. The aliens did not anticipate humans using planetary storms as a weapon. Meanwhile, in the political halls of the Galactic Council, whispers spread like wildfire. A new species, so fragile yet so audacious, had survived an engagement that should have wiped them out in hours. Counselor Valen of the Zenith Coalition shook their head. This is unprecedented. They shouldn't have survived. They lack the tech, the numbers, yet somehow they endure. Back on the Aegis, Elena gathered her senior officers. The bridge smelled of ozone and sweat, alarms still blaring. "Listen carefully," she said. "They think they can crush us with fear. They think we're a species to be brushed aside. But they don't understand what it means to fight for every inch of your home, for your children, for your legacy. Tonight, we show them humanity is not just resilient. Humanity is unstoppable." A hush fell over the bridge. Then quietly Cho whispered, "Sir, incoming data. They're reorganizing. Preparing a second strike." Elena's lips curved into a faint, grim smile. "Good. Let them come. We'll be ready." In the vacuum of space, amid the flashes of laser fire and the roar of engines, humanity's presence announced itself, not with the overwhelming force of numbers, but with cunning, courage, and the unpredictable spark of a species that refused to bow. Far across the galaxy, on the capital world of Kalari Prime, Emperor Vashkor stared at the battle simulations. His mandibles clicked in irritation. How can they survive?" he demanded of his generals. "They are insignificant. Their ships are inferior. Their weapons are weak. Yet, every report shows resistance. Adaptation. Humanity fights beyond reason. Analyze. Understand. Prepare the next phase." Thus, the seeds of a war unlike any the galaxy had seen were sown. A war that would test not only the might of alien empires but the very limits of human ingenuity, courage, and the boundless capacity to rise when all odds declared defeat. The stars of the Outer Rim shimmered coldly. But beneath that darkness, humanity's defiance burned brighter than any sun. The Kalari Dominion recoiled, but they were far from defeated. In their obsidian halls on Kalari Prime, Emperor Vashkor seethed. Humans, they survive impossible odds. They adapt. They endure. And yet, they have no history of empire, no mastery of the stars. How can this be? Admirals and tacticians bowed, unsure of their own answers. Perhaps it is instinct, my emperor? Or, an unpredictable form of intelligence, one whispered. Vashkor's mandibles clicked with irritation. Unpredictable is dangerous. Prepare a fleet for the outer rim, 10,000 vessels. Crush them before they inspire hope elsewhere in the galaxy. Meanwhile, humans were not idle. On Terra Nova, a recently colonized human world, engineers and scientists worked feverishly in orbital shipyards. They had taken the Kalari attack as a warning, a brutal, fiery lesson. But instead of despair, humanity responded with ingenuity. Dr. Anika Patel, the chief engineer aboard the orbital yard, examined simulations of Kalari weapon patterns. They rely on predictable quantum pulses. Their firing cycles are precise, almost arrogant, she explained to Admiral Elena Vargas. If we disrupt their frequency, we can blind their targeting systems for brief windows. Not long, but long enough to strike where it hurts. Elena's eyes gleamed. Then let's blind them. The humans launched a daring operation known as Project Stormfront. A small fleet, equipped with experimental frequency jammers and electromagnetic pulse cannons, would draw the bulk of the Kalari into a trap near the gas giant Phoros 9. On the bridge of the Aegis, tension was thick. The bridge crew was young, undertrained compared to centuries-old alien veterans, yet their eyes burned with determination. Lieutenant Cho checked coordinates. Admiral, enemy sensors are detecting us. They know we're here. Elena didn't flinch. Good. Let them come. Let them see us, and let them think they have the advantage. Illusions will be our weapons tonight. In the void near Phoros 9, a storm of magnetic radiation danced across the giant planet's atmosphere. Human ships lurked in its outer rings, hidden by swirling plasma storms. The Kalari, confident and overbearing, advanced without hesitation. Their massive fleet shimmered like a predator in the void, thousands of ships converging on a perceived prey. Then, with precise coordination, human engineers activated the jammers. Kalari targeting grids flickered and died. Ships that had predicted the humans' every maneuver now stumbled blindly. The humans struck. Railguns fired in synchronized volleys. Missiles wove deadly patterns between alien vessels. The Kalari screamed through communications channels, their voices harsh, metallic, filled with disbelief. What how? Systems failing, sensors, impossible. Captain Jiro Nakamura, piloting the Liberty, grinned. Impossible is our specialty. The battle raged for hours, with human tactics breaking conventional rules. They split their forces, then reformed mid-combat. They feigned retreats, luring alien vessels into concentrated fire zones. When Kalari bombers attempted orbital strikes on colonies, human frigates intercepted, exploiting every opening. Amidst the chaos in the council chambers of the Galactic Council, debates flared. The humans are extraordinary, Councillor Valen admitted reluctantly. I've observed them for decades. They are not just surviving, they are shaping the engagement itself. If this continues, Councillor Hark of the Lithari Federation interjected sharply, they will inspire other species to rise against us. They cannot be underestimated any longer. Back in orbit of Phoros 9, Elena made a decision that would shock even the most seasoned Kalari tactician. She deployed Project Shadow, a human stealth vessel equipped with experimental wormhole technology. The tiny ship vanished into a subspace corridor, emerging behind the Kalari command fleet. Sensors aboard the Aegis tracked the results in awe. The Shadow struck the enemy flagship with surgical precision, detonating its quantum core in a brilliant explosion that illuminated the void like a newborn star. Kalari morale shattered. Ships wavered in formation, many retreating into the void. For the first time in recorded history, the Kalari Dominion was being humiliated by a species they considered primitive. On Kalari Prime, Emperor Vashkor's rage consumed him. He roared at his generals. They are not merely surviving, they are teaching us how to lose. Prepare the superweapons. Deploy the fleets. No mercy. This species will not escape extinction. Yet even as the galaxy trembled at the audacity of humans, cracks began to appear in alien alliances. Some factions admired humanity's cunning, whispering that perhaps they were not meant to be conquered but respected. Others feared them, their instinct for survival terrifying beyond comprehension. Back aboard the Aegis, Elena stood on the bridge, gazing at the aftermath. Thousands of Kalari vessels lay in ruin. Her crew cheered quietly, exhausted but exhilarated. Lieutenant Cho turned to her, voice trembling with awe. "Admiral, we did it. Against all odds we did it." Elena shook her head, sober. "We won a battle, not the war. The galaxy has seen what humans are capable of, and now they will respond. We must be ready for everything. Every trick, every strategy, every deception they throw at us, we will endure." Below, across human colonies, celebrations erupted. But every human knew the truth: the war had only begun. Every victory brought attention. Every clever maneuver painted a target on humanity's back. And yet, the people of Earth and their colonies burned with defiance, united by a single, undeniable truth: they would not surrender. From the shadows of the galaxy, the whispers grew louder: "These humans, they are something else. A species that refuses to bow. A species that will shape the fate of stars." The flames of defiance had been lit. And humanity's rise was only beginning. The Kalari Dominion was reeling, their pride shattered. Emperor Vashkor paced in his obsidian palace, the reflections of distant stars shimmering across his mandibles. "Humans, they are unlike anything we have ever faced," he hissed. "They do not fight like any other species. They innovate in the heat of battle, adapt mid-combat, survive against annihilation, and they inspire their allies to hope." Admiral Zaltor, Vashkor's chief strategist, bowed, his segmented eyes glinting. "My Emperor, our intelligence reports show human colonies coordinating rapidly. They have forged alliances with neighboring systems. Their diplomacy is as cunning as their warfare. If we continue to underestimate them, we risk total collapse in the outer rim." Vashkor's eyes narrowed. "Then we crush them before hope becomes rebellion. Mobilize the fleets for a strike directly into human-controlled space. Leave no world untouched. Make them understand the price of defiance." Meanwhile, across human space, the Council of Earth met in emergency session. The war had escalated beyond mere survival. Humanity now held the attention of the galaxy's most powerful empires. The council chamber on Terra Nova hummed with urgency. "Admiral Vargas," said Counselor Lin, voice tense, "the Kalari are preparing a full-scale invasion. Thousands of vessels are mobilizing across multiple vectors. If they reach the inner colonies, millions could perish." Elena leaned forward, her hands resting on the sleek, holographic map table. Star systems glowed in gold and red, plotting every fleet movement. "Then we strike first. Not defensively but strategically. We hit their supply lines, their staging zones, and we force them to react on our terms." Dr. Anika Patel's holographic models flickered to life. "We can deploy a network of stealth carriers. Each carries specialized strike teams and small tactical warships. We'll disrupt key nodes, cripple command coordination, and delay their advance without risking the entire fleet." Captain Jiro Nakamura smirked. "I like it. We're not just defending, we're making them play our game." The first phase of the operation took place in the Trivax Nebula, a vast and unstable region of ionized gases and violent solar storms. Human strike groups moved like phantoms among the dense clouds, invisible to Kalari sensors. There they executed surgical strikes, dismantling supply convoys and ambushing patrol vessels. Aboard the USS Liberty, Nakamura watched as massive Kalari carriers were disabled one by one. "Status report," he called. Lieutenant Cho's voice was steady though tense. 3 carriers neutralized. Their escorts are in disarray. They're retreating, but sensors indicate reinforcements, dozens of dreadnoughts en route. Elena's voice cut through the bridge comms. "Good. Let them come. We'll be waiting, but this time they won't know where to strike." While battles raged in the void, the human diplomatic corps worked tirelessly. Ambassador Kale Torres coordinated secret communications with neighboring alien systems. Many were impressed, some frightened by humanity's audacity and rapid rise. Several minor empires, wary of Kalari dominance, offered tacit support: intelligence, safe harbors, and discreet supply routes. In the council chambers of the Zenith Coalition, whispers echoed. "Humans, they are not just surviving," Counselor Valen muttered. "They are changing the balance of power. If they continue like this, the entire political landscape of the galaxy will shift. Alliances may crumble. Wars will ignite on new fronts." Yet not all alien factions welcomed humanity's rise. The Lithari Federation, bitter rivals of the humans' newfound allies, began covert sabotage operations, attempting to undermine human logistics and test their defenses. Elena anticipated this. Prepare counterintelligence. Every message, every relay, every vessel must be monitored. They will try to catch us off guard. We cannot allow that. The human fleet then executed a bold maneuver near Sirius Prime, the Kalari staging world. Using experimental cloaking arrays and wormhole shortcuts, small groups of human strike ships infiltrated the system's outer defenses. There, in a daring act that stunned even seasoned commanders, they destroyed critical orbital weapon depots, leaving Kalari defenses exposed for the first time in generations. On Kalari Prime, Vashkor roared in frustration. How do they strike where we are strongest? They are everywhere and nowhere at once. Our fleets are organized, yet they move like shadows. Admiral Zaltor bowed, fear creeping into his voice. They have ingenuity, Emperor. Strategy that defies our calculations. We cannot predict their next moves. Back aboard the Aegis, Elena gathered her officers. This is what the galaxy doesn't understand. Humanity is not bound by tradition, by protocol, or by expectation. Where others see limits, we see opportunity. Where they see fear, we see leverage. Every time they think they corner us, we turn it into a weapon. Dr. Patel leaned over a holographic display, highlighting the next phase. Their fleets are stretched. Supply lines scattered. If we strike again, we can force them into a decisive engagement on our terms. Elena's eyes hardened. Then that's what we'll do. We hit them here, we hit them now, and we make the galaxy remember, humans are not to be trifled with. But as humans prepared for the next wave of strikes, unknown to them, Kalari intelligence had begun an unprecedented effort. Infiltrators, spies, and psychic operatives aimed to study humanity from within. For the first time, the aliens realized that defeating humans required more than weapons. It required understanding. And humans, always unpredictable, would turn even that against them. Above the Trivax Nebula, the human fleet held formation. Stars reflected in their armored hulls. Ships hummed with power, ready for the next wave of engagement. And humanity's resolve was unwavering. They had survived the first attack. They had struck deep into enemy territory. And they had forged alliances where none thought possible. The galaxy was beginning to whisper, cautiously and fearfully, a single thought. Humans are not merely fighters. They are a force the universe has never seen. The Kalari Dominion's wrath burned brighter than any supernova. Their fleets, reorganized and reinforced, advanced toward human-controlled space with terrifying speed and precision. 10,000 vessels of war, each bristling with quantum cannons and antimatter torpedoes, moved like a relentless storm. Every major system in the outer rim braced for impact. Emperor Vashkor's eyes glimmered with a cold fire. The humans have provoked us long enough. They will be crushed. Let them see the might of the Dominion. Yet the humans were not waiting to be crushed. Admiral Elena Vargas studied the situation from the bridge of the USS Aegis, her calm exterior masking the torrent of calculations running through her mind. The Kalari fleet outnumbered them 10-1. Conventional tactics would be suicide. But humans had never fought conventionally. Lieutenant Cho, Elena said, her voice steady, initiate Operation Iron Mirage. Prepare the decoy fleet. Cho nodded, fingers flying across the holographic console. A dozen smaller ships, cloaked and emitting false energy signatures, positioned themselves along likely Kalari attack vectors. The real fleet, hidden in the shadows of the Sithran asteroid belt, waited. Captain Jiro Nakamura leaned over the rail of the Liberty, watching the Kalari approach. They're confident, too confident. They think sheer numbers will win the day. They haven't learned, humans play by no rules but survival. As the Kalari advanced, human decoys blazed forth like lures in the darkness. The Dominion fired relentlessly, destroying ship after ship, but each explosion revealed empty hulls, automated drones, or holographic projections. The real human fleet maneuvered silently, waiting for the perfect moment. Then, without warning, human ships leaped from hidden wormhole corridors behind the Kalari. Railguns and plasma cannons struck simultaneously at critical command vessels. The flagship Vashkor's Pride shuddered under the first volleys. Alarms screamed. Kalari formations faltered. "This is impossible," screamed Admiral Zaltor aboard the flagship. "How did they?" Elena's voice cut across comms. "Adaptation, Admiral. Humanity learns fast. Your arrogance is your weakness." In the midst of the chaos, humans executed daring boarding actions. Elite squads, transported via stealth pods, infiltrated the Kalari flagship. They sabotaged engines, disrupted communications, and broadcasted disorienting holographic signals, making it seem like the human fleet was everywhere at once. On Kalari Prime, Emperor Vashkor's fury erupted. Mandibles snapping, he bellowed, "This is not war. This is madness. Find their command, annihilate it." Yet for the first time, Kalari intelligence officers hesitated. Every calculation failed, humans refused predictability. Each attempt to corner them only revealed new layers of ingenuity. Amid the battles, human diplomats worked tirelessly. Ambassador Kale Torres orchestrated secret negotiations with alien factions long subjugated or threatened by the Kalari. Minor systems, once silent observers, now sent fleets to aid humanity, drawn by admiration or fear of their cunning. In a rare moment of quiet, Elena addressed her officers on the Aegis Bridge. "Remember this, all of you. Every time the galaxy says we cannot survive, we prove it wrong. Every time they think they've trapped us, we turn it to our advantage. This is more than a battle. It is a message. Humanity does not bend, does not break, and does not yield." Dr. Anika Patel tapped on her holographic console, revealing the next strategic maneuver. "We can cut off their retreat. The Kalari fleet relies on 3 jump points. If we blockade them, they will be trapped in this sector. It is risky, but the payoff is decisive." Elena's gaze hardened. "Then we risk everything. Humanity survives by daring the impossible. Prepare the blockade." The humans executed the maneuver flawlessly. By using stealth ships and rapid wormhole jumps, they sealed off all exit points. Kalari vessels, now cornered, faced humanity from every angle. Sensors detected panic, an emotion rarely admitted among the Dominion's disciplined fleets. Admiral Zaltor's voice was tight with fury. "We are surrounded. They have infiltrated the perimeter. This is not just battle, this is annihilation." Even as explosions tore through the void, human ingenuity shone. Boarding parties took over Kalari supply ships, turning enemy weapons against their own fleets. Coordinated strikes dismantled dreadnoughts from the inside. Kalari drones, designed to anticipate human behavior, failed utterly. Predictability had been their downfall. Meanwhile, on the front lines, Captain Nakamura led the Liberty through a cascade of collapsing debris fields, targeting the enemy's remaining capital ships. "Hold nothing back," he ordered. "Every ship, every crew, every strategy, fight like the galaxy depends on it." Because it does. At the climax of the battle, the Vashkor's pride exploded in a brilliant green nova, shattering the Dominion's command structure in this sector. Thousands of Kalari vessels surrendered, retreated, or were destroyed. The humans had turned an impossible fight into a decisive victory. In the aftermath, the galaxy could no longer deny it. Humans were more than resilient. They were unstoppable innovators, capable of turning desperation into triumph. Minor alien factions openly allied with humanity, while major powers began reconsidering their positions in the interstellar balance. On the bridge of the Aegis, Elena gazed at the stars, her voice quiet but firm. "The galaxy has seen humanity's flame. Let them understand we fight not because we must but because we can. And when we fight, we prevail." But even in victory, whispers of caution spread across the galaxy. The Kalari had not been defeated entirely. Their fury, now compounded with humiliation, promised even darker strategies. The war was far from over. Still, humanity had proven something fundamental. In the crucible of stars, under fire from the universe's greatest powers, they were not merely survivors, they were a force to be reckoned with. The echoes of their defiance would ripple across the galaxy, a warning to all: underestimate humanity and you invite annihilation. The ruins of Kalari fleets burned across the outer rim, but humanity did not rest. Admiral Elena Vargas had already set her sights on the next phase, the heart of the Kalari Dominion itself. While the galaxy whispered of human cunning, few had imagined the audacity of their next move, an offensive deep into enemy territory, striking where it would hurt the most: their home systems. "Counselor Lin," Elena said, reviewing the strategic hologram aboard the USS Aegis, "we cannot simply wait. If we allow the Kalari to regroup, they will strike again. This time we take the fight to them. Strike at the nodes that power their fleet, disrupt command, and force them to question every assumption about humanity." Lin nodded gravely. "It is bold, almost reckless. But it has always been humanity's way, hasn't it?" Dr. Anika Patel interjected, pointing to the holographic map. "We've identified critical systems, relay stations, energy depots, and orbital arsenals. If we disable them, the Kalari fleet cannot mobilize efficiently for at least a cycle. We can exploit the chaos." Captain Jiro Nakamura grinned. "Chaos suits us. Let's light up their star systems. The humans began Operation Iron Tide, a coordinated multi-pronged offensive. Cloaked strike teams infiltrated Kalari-controlled jump gates, cutting off reinforcements. Electromagnetic pulses disabled orbital shields, while stealth carriers deposited specialized assault forces onto lightly defended planets. Their first target was HFY Prime, a planet previously considered impregnable. Kalari orbital defenses were sophisticated, but human engineers had calculated every vulnerability. Using suborbital launch pods, strike teams hit launch silos, energy grids, and defense arrays simultaneously. Within hours, the planet's major military installations were neutralized. Aboard the Aegis, Elena watched the progress in awe. They think HFY Prime is untouchable. Let's make sure they think twice about the next one. On the ground, human troops displayed the kind of adaptability that terrified even the most seasoned Kalari soldiers. Ambushes, psychological warfare, and rapid redeployment created confusion. Alien commanders attempted to respond, but human unpredictability rendered many tactics useless. Meanwhile, in Kalari Prime's council chambers, Emperor Vashkor's fury boiled over. They are inside our systems. They are everywhere. How can a species so small and weak disrupt everything we have built? Admiral Zaltor, his voice tight, responded, "They are unlike any species we have encountered. Their ingenuity is frightening. It is not just weapons. They use deception, environment, and psychology as effectively as any fleet." Vashkor's mandibles snapped with rage. "Then we change the game. Deploy the Oblivion Protocol. Activate planetary defenses. Purge every infiltrator. Make humanity pay in blood." But humanity was ready. Elena had anticipated Kalari desperation tactics. Human ships used asteroid belts, magnetic storms, and wormhole shortcuts to stay one step ahead. Strike teams were extracted before planetary defenses could react. Every move, every counter, was calculated to maximize disruption while minimizing losses. As humans pushed deeper, alien alliances began to fracture. Some minor factions, previously subjugated by Kalari dominance, openly allied with humanity, sending reconnaissance, supplies, and intelligence. Others, fearful of Kalari reprisals, remained cautious, but even their hesitation slowed the Dominion's response. On HFY Prime, a critical moment unfolded. A Kalari dreadnought, damaged but still operational, attempted to annihilate a human command hub. Captain Nakamura, piloting the Liberty, executed a daring maneuver. Flying through a collapsing canyon of orbital debris, he deployed a concentrated plasma strike that tore through the dreadnought's hull, igniting its core. Sensors aboard the Aegis registered the explosion. Elena smiled grimly. Every time they think they are safe, humanity finds a way. That is the difference between us and every other species in the galaxy. They predict, we improvise. Yet, amid the victories, humans faced losses that reminded them of the stakes. Skilled pilots, engineers, and soldiers perished in daring assaults, sacrifices that weighed heavily on the crew. Still, their resilience never faltered. Each loss fueled their determination, and every victory inspired hope across human colonies. In the midst of their offensive, a shocking revelation arrived. Kalari intelligence operatives, previously believed neutralized, had infiltrated a forward human base. They carried data showing the Dominion's ultimate weapon, the Celestial Lance, a planetary-scale energy cannon capable of destroying entire worlds in a single shot. The news spread quickly aboard the Aegis. Dr. Patel's face went pale. If they deploy this, entire colonies could be vaporized. We must stop it before it's too late. Elena's jaw tightened. Then the next phase becomes clear. The Celestial Lance cannot fire. We strike at its source, infiltrate the base, and neutralize it. One way or another, humanity survives. As Operation Iron Tide surged forward, the galaxy watched in awe. Humans were no longer merely defending themselves. They were the architects of chaos, turning the Dominion's power against them. Every tactical decision, every daring strike reshaped interstellar politics. Empires whispered in fear, and the Kalari realized that humanity had not only survived, they were now a force capable of threatening the very core of their empire. And at the center of it all, Elena Vargas stood unyielding. Her voice, calm yet resolute, echoed across the fleet. "We fight not because we must. We fight because we can. The universe doubts us. Let it learn what humans are truly capable of." The stars themselves seemed to shiver under humanity's rising flame. And as the fleet pressed toward the heart of the Dominion, one truth became undeniable. The galaxy had underestimated humans at its peril. The galaxy held its breath. The Kalari Dominion, once untouchable, now faced a relentless human fleet advancing toward their homeworld, Kalari Prime. Thousands of ships stretched across the void like a living storm. The humans were fewer in number, but their tactics, daring, and adaptability had turned the odds into something almost unimaginable. Aboard the USS Aegis, Admiral Elena Vargas reviewed the battle plans with her senior officers. The ultimate target, the Celestial Lance, a planetary-scale weapon capable of annihilating entire colonies. Intelligence reports indicated that the weapon was nearly operational, hidden within the fortress city of Kalari Prime. Neutralizing it would be humanity's most dangerous mission yet. Dr. Anika Patel pointed to a holographic projection of the planet. The fortress is shielded by multiple orbital platforms. Direct assault is suicide. But if we use synchronized subspace jumps, we can deploy strike teams inside the shield perimeter simultaneously. We hit multiple points at once: command hubs, energy cores, and the weapon itself. Elena's eyes hardened. Prepare every team. This is the culmination of everything we've fought for. If we fail, countless colonies die. If we succeed, humanity defines its place among the stars. Captain Jiro Nakamura tightened his gloves. I like those odds. Let's go make history. The humans struck first. Cloaked carriers slipped through wormhole corridors, deploying assault teams behind enemy lines. Orbital bombardments distracted the Kalari fleet, drawing their attention to phantom targets projected by human drones. Meanwhile, stealth pods infiltrated planetary defenses, moving toward the fortress city like ghosts. Inside Kalari Prime, Emperor Vashkor's rage was volcanic. They have reached our homeworld? Impossible. How can a primitive species penetrate our shields? Admiral Zaltor knelt, his eyes wide with fear. Emperor, they have adapted again. We cannot predict their next move. Every assault seems to anticipate our defenses before we even deploy them. Vashkor's mandibles snapped in fury. Then we change everything. Activate planetary defense protocols. Purge every sector. Crush humanity where they stand. But the humans had already anticipated this. On the bridge of the Aegis, Elena watched the battle unfold. The Kalari fired planet-spanning energy cannons, targeting the approaching human fleet. Yet every shot was met with calculated evasive maneuvers, shield diversions, and rapid wormhole jumps. In orbit, Captain Nakamura led a squadron of Liberty-class warships into the densest part of the Kalari fleet. Plasma cannons tore through orbital stations while stealth fighters navigated the chaos to land strike teams directly onto the fortress city. The city itself was a labyrinth of energy conduits, towers bristling with weapons and automated defense systems. Human teams split into multiple units, hacking and disabling control nodes while avoiding Kalari patrols. Every move was precise, every action synchronized with orbital maneuvers. In the heart of the fortress, Elena herself coordinated the assault. Strike Team Delta, disable the energy core. Strike Team Omega, secure the Celestial Lance's control chamber. All units, synchronize with orbital diversion in T-30 seconds. The Kalari, desperate, unleashed psychic operatives to identify human positions. Yet humans turned even this to their advantage, deploying decoy projections that overwhelmed alien minds, creating chaos among the defenders. As Delta struck the energy core, alarms blared throughout the fortress. Nakamura's team reported heavy resistance from elite Kalari soldiers. We're pinned, Admiral. They're everywhere. Elena's voice cut through comms, calm yet commanding. Then fight like humans. Improvise. Adapt. Survive. Every second you hold them gives the rest of us a chance to succeed. At the same time, Strike Team Omega infiltrated the chamber of the Celestial Lance. The weapon, a titanic construct of shimmering metal and energy conduits, hummed ominously. Kalari engineers attempted to defend it, but humans had anticipated every trap. Within minutes, Omega's leader disabled the firing mechanism, rigging it to self-destruct. A massive explosion rocked the fortress as the Celestial Lance's core collapsed inward. Shockwaves tore through Kalari Prime, sending ships careening into debris fields. Emperor Vashkor, witnessing the destruction from his command tower, roared in disbelief. This cannot be. The humans, how can they? Elena's voice echoed across comms to all human forces. They underestimated us. They thought fear could stop humanity. They thought technology alone could defeat courage. Today we show them that a species united, daring, and clever cannot be crushed. The remaining Kalari fleet attempted retreat, but humans had anticipated their escape routes. Cloaked strike ships and wormhole ambushes forced a decisive confrontation. The Dominion's remnants were routed, surrendering or retreating in chaos. On the bridge of the Aegis, Elena allowed herself a brief moment of relief. We've done it. The celestial lance is destroyed. Kalari Prime is neutralized. Humanity survives stronger than ever. Dr. Patel, exhausted but smiling, nodded. We've proven what we always knew. Adaptability, ingenuity, and courage, that is humanity's weapon. Captain Nakamura looked at the stars beyond. The galaxy thought we were weak, primitive, predictable. And we just showed them, nothing could be further from the truth. Across the galaxy, whispers of fear and admiration spread. Minor empires openly aligned with humanity. Even major powers reconsidered their stance. The Kalari, once untouchable, had been humbled. Yet Elena knew the war was not truly over. Humanity had taken the fight to the heart of the Dominion, but vigilance would always be required. The galaxy was vast and new threats were inevitable. Still, for the first time, humans stood at the pinnacle of interstellar power, not through sheer numbers but through ingenuity, resilience, and unyielding courage. They had faced annihilation, defied impossible odds, and emerged victorious. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter that night, as if the universe itself recognized the rise of a new force, humanity. And somewhere in the silent void, a single thought echoed across alien worlds. Never underestimate humans. The galaxy was silent, but it was a tense, watchful silence. Kalari Prime smoldered in ruin. The celestial lance, the weapon that could have obliterated entire colonies, lay destroyed, its shattered energy conduits glowing faintly against the black sky. Humanity had struck at the heart of the Dominion and survived where no one thought it possible. Aboard the USS Aegis, Admiral Elena Vargas surveyed the aftermath. The fleet, battered but triumphant, drifted in orbit above the ravaged planet. Across her communications network, human colonies reported celebrations, not just of survival but of audacity, ingenuity, and victory. Humanity had not only survived the impossible, they had rewritten the rules of interstellar power. Dr. Anika Patel stood beside Elena, exhaustion etched across her features. We've done it. Against fleets 10 times our size, against the most advanced technology the Dominion could muster, we survived. And more than that, we prevailed. Elena nodded slowly. The galaxy has seen what humans are capable of. But this is not just about survival. It is about legacy. We've earned our place among the stars, not as victims, not as a curiosity, but as a force that cannot be ignored. Even as they celebrated, the humans were pragmatic. Reconstruction teams were already deploying to repair colonies damaged in the war. Scientists and engineers worked alongside diplomats to stabilize systems liberated from Kalari control. Humanity's rise was not fueled by conquest alone. It was intelligence, ingenuity, and the capacity to lead. In the remnants of Kalari political halls, Emperor Vashkor seethed, staring at hollow images of the destruction. How can such a small, insignificant species achieve this? His mandibles clicked in frustration. They are unpredictable, relentless, and fearless. This is not war. This is evolution. Humanity is evolution made flesh. The Kalari generals bowed, their fear evident. They are unlike any enemy we have faced, Emperor. Every calculation, every strategy, fails against them. They are more than survival, they are apex predators of the mind and spirit. Elsewhere, whispers spread through the Galactic Council. Counselor Valen of the Zenith Coalition remarked, "Humans are remarkable. We have underestimated them for centuries. They are not just survivors, they are innovators, strategists, and a unifying force." Counselor Hark of the Lithari Federation nodded gravely. "If we fail to engage them diplomatically, they will shape the galaxy according to their will. And make no mistake, they will succeed." Back on Terra Nova, humanity's leaders convened to formalize the first interstellar coalition of allied systems. Ambassador Kale Torres addressed representatives from dozens of species, their voices a chorus of cautious respect. "Humanity has survived what no one thought possible," Torres said. "We have fought not with the arrogance of empires, but with the ingenuity, courage, and adaptability that define our species. Let this be a message to the galaxy. We will defend our home, our people, and our allies. And we will rise not because we seek dominance, but because we refuse to be underestimated." Elena watched the assembly from the viewing platform. "This is the future," she said quietly. "Not just for humans but for all who choose to stand with us. The galaxy will never see us the same way again." Amid the political realignments, humanity also rebuilt. Colonies damaged by Kalari attacks were restored with advanced technology, infrastructure, and defenses. Humans did not seek revenge. They sought stability, demonstrating that power could be tempered with wisdom. But there were lessons learned in blood. Every officer, soldier, and scientist who had survived knew the cost of underestimating the universe. Humanity's ingenuity had won battles, but courage, sacrifice, and adaptability had won the war. In the quiet moments after the campaigns, Elena reflected on the journey. From a small blue world orbiting an unremarkable sun to the outer rim of the galaxy, humanity had been doubted, dismissed, and mocked. Yet in every desperate battle, every impossible strike, they had proven that intelligence, audacity, and resilience could surpass sheer numbers and overwhelming technology. A final communication arrived from a distant allied system, their voice tinged with awe. "Admiral Vargas, humanity is unlike anything we've ever seen. You've not just survived, you've transformed the galaxy. Others will remember your name for generations." Elena smiled faintly, eyes on the stars. "Let them remember. Let them understand. Humanity does not bend, does not break, and does not yield. We fight with mind, heart, and courage. And when the universe doubts us, we rise." Far across the galaxy, minor systems rebuilt and major powers reconsidered their alliances. The Kalari Dominion retreated into a shadow of its former glory, humbled and wary. Humanity's legend spread from rim to core, a species underestimated, dismissed, and mocked, yet capable of extraordinary feats that reshaped the balance of power. In the silence of space, as stars shimmered like countless beacons of possibility, one undeniable truth resonated across every world. Humanity had risen. Humanity had endured. And humanity had become the standard against which all other species would be measured. The war was over, but the legacy had only begun. Above all, on the bridge of the USS Aegis, Admiral Elena Vargas gazed at the endless stars and whispered, almost to herself, "The galaxy knows our name now, and they will never forget it." The stars flickered as if in response, echoing the rise of a species that had defied the impossible, conquered fear, and shown the universe the true meaning of resilience.